A lord who had 3 sons. The old lord was dying, but he could not decide which of his 3 sons should become lord, should take over his manors, his estate, when he died. And so thinking about it for a while, the Lord had an idea. He gave each of them a silver penny. He said, take this penny and buy something that can fill this room. Well, the eldest son went out. He brought straw. He brought great cartfuls of straw. He brought it back. He spread it about the chamber, but it only came up this high. The second son, that's not high, is it? Because the room was really, really, really big. The second son went out. He brought feathers, great sackfuls of feathers. He brought them back. He spread them about, and they only reached that high, just there. That's quite high, isn't it? But still, it did not fill the room. The youngest one went out. He searched all day, and at last he found something small for a penny which he could fit inside his pouch. And when he brought it back and took it out, it filled the room. And so the riddle is this: what did he have in his pouch that filled the room? There's more than one answer to this riddle. A candle. That's the first answer. He took the candle out, he lit it. The candle filled the room with light. Good answer. Well done. It was very good, wasn't it? I'm impressed. Do you know, they didn't have light bulbs long ago. If they had, that would have been a very good answer. A bit like the candle. Now, something you can see. What about something you perhaps can hear or smell?
Incense or perfume, yeah.
He bought a small vial of perfume, which when he opened it, it filled the room with perfume, with a fine scent. Something else. Do you know, I thought when I looked at you, there's a girl who can make perfume. Something about that flavor. Something else. Something else that you could fill the room. Something small, perhaps something made of bone. What is it called? A pig bone. In other words, a buzz bone. Perhaps it could have been a bone flute, but in this case, it was one of these. This is my buzz bone. It's made from a sheep's or a pig's, in this case, knuckle bone. It was a toy from long, long ago. It's one of my favourites. Are you ready? Yeah. Oh, they're all excited, aren't they? You can see the excitement on their faces. Do you think they're going to be impressed?
Ooh.
Can you all hear that?
Yeah.
A toy from long, long ago. It took me 7 years to learn this. I'm so good that I can even do that. Are you impressed? And when you're really, really, really good like me, you can even do that. Tough crowd, I can see. I think we better get to the story, for you have earned a story. And it's a story about greed, but it's also a very silly story, so I hope you will approve. Does anyone here grow onions? Hands up. Right. My friend at the back. Give me an idea of the biggest onion you've ever grown.
Oh, they've been very big. They've been quite small, about that big.
I bet they were lovely onions.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Anyone else? Anyone else growing an onion bigger than that? No. So you win so far. But the man in my story was called a cotter. He was called a cotter because all he had was a small cot, what we would call a cottage today. But this was one small room with a small garden in front. And in that garden, he grew peas, he grew beans, and he grew onions. No one could grow onions as big as he. Each and every year, the onions got bigger and bigger and bigger, until one year he grew the biggest onion anyone had ever seen. Everyone who walked past his small garden, they all did the very same thing. They all went, they had never seen such a big onion. This onion was so big, if I was to cut off the top, if I was to scoop out the middle, I could put you, and even him inside, and there'd still be room for me to stand on his shoulders and go, ooh, at the top. It was a great big onion. It was a If you'd be at the bottom, we'd all be standing on your shoulders. This onion was so big, it reached the ears of the local lord of the manor. He decided he would go and look at the onion. He rode up on his finest white charger, his best horse. But when he got near the garden, he went... He had never seen such a big onion. He said to the cotter, he said, "That's a big onion." "I know," said the cotter, "it's good, isn't it?" "It's big," said the Lord, "but is it good? For what can you do with a great big onion?" "Well, I've been thinking about that," says the poor cotter. "I'm going to send this onion to the king." Well, when he heard this, the Lord, he threw back his head and he laughed. He went, "Ah!" He said, "You fool, you ninny hammer, you dullard, the king has jewels, the king has gold coins, the king wears a pointy crown. What would he want with a great big onion?" But the poor cotter did not listen. Instead, he wrapped that onion in a piece of linen, a very big piece of linen, and he sent it to the king. Now there was the king, sitting in his great hall. King. But when he saw that onion, he went... He had never been sent such an unusual gift, a great big onion. And he thought to himself, "This is a wonderful gift. I am king. For such a wonderful gift, I must send this poor man an equally wonderful reward." But what? Well, knowing that he was a poor, poor man, the king sent him a purse of gold. The poor man was now rich. News of his newfound wealth, it reached the ears of the local lord. And when the lord heard, he could not believe those ears. He thought, "That's not right. That's not fair. He got a great big purse of gold for one onion." But hold on. Wait. If the king gave him a great purse of gold for one onion, what would the king give me for my finest white charger, my best horse? And so quick as a flash, he sent his best horse to the king. And the king was very pleased. No one had ever sent him such a fine horse before. He thought to himself, "I am king. For such a wonderful gift, I must send this lord an equally wonderful reward." But what? A few days later, the lord was sitting in his great hall. There was a boom, boom, boom against the door. The door opened quickly, and outside were all the king's men, carrying a great big wooden box, and the Lord thought, "A great big box full of gold for me. I am rich, but I shan't open it now. I shall spend some of this money upon a great feast. I shall invite everyone from far and near, from near and far, even that fool, the cotter, so that he can see what a really good gift to the king gets as a reward." And so it was. Everyone. They came to the great feast. They ate themselves full. They drank themselves silly. And at the end of the night, the Lord stood up behind the great wooden box, stroking it backwards and forwards, saying, "My box, not your box, all mine." And slowly, very, very slowly, he began to lift the lid. Now, those of you who have listened to me already today know that I have a secret. The secret is this: I cannot do a creaky door, so it follows that I cannot do a creaky lid. And so all of you will have to help me with this creaky lid. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep going, it's a big lid. It's a very big lid. The lid creaked open. The Lord looked down. And as he looked down, the smile fell from his face as water falls from a duck's back. But inside that great oak chest was a great big onion. Thank you very much. Now,